So this is not the video I wanted to make, but given how it's affected the channel, let's talk about it. The YouTube copyright system really sucks. People can abuse it easily, and since YouTube changes how they enforce their rules, there's not much that creators can really do about it. I never watched Leafy, but the way he was banned goes against the 3-strike system that YouTube claims to uphold. That goes along with the copyright system as well. The way the system works is it flags videos that use content similar to yours, and gives you the opportunity to issue a copyright claim. In some cases, block the entire video from being viewed, and then if the channel tries to appeal that claim, it can be subject to a copyright takedown and the channel will then get a strike. If you appeal that strike, then it can be escalated into a court situation, which we will get into later. Now this system is automated, so if you use a cutscene from a video game and other people use that same cutscene, there's a chance that they would have the ability to strike your video because of it. Some YouTubers like Sean Easy have brought up that they would be willing to do that, since they took the time to screen record the cutscene, so it's theirs now, which is absolutely stupid. If I screen recorded an episode of Fairy Tail, since it was the last episode breakdown I did, that doesn't mean that I now own that episode of Fairy Tail, that I own that copyright, and can now use it against other people. That is such a silly take, I shouldn't even have to explain it, but here we are. Plus, in terms of screen recording cutscenes, it's not even a hard thing to do most of the time. A lot of games let you do it on console, some block cutscenes, sure, but making it out as if it's some dreadful thing to do that you deserve some recognition for is absolutely wild to me. Well, back to that court situation I brought up earlier. Numerous videos of mine have been claimed and struck down by Hasbro. Are those videos fair use? I mean, that's up to a court to decide, but given what I know regarding what is considered such, I would say that it probably is. Not that I'm biased or anything, of course not. That doesn't mean I can easily go to court and beat Hasbro though. This is what people say to me a lot: if I believe that it's fair use, then why don't I escalate it? If I think I'm right, then just prove it in the court of law. It's simple, Trevor, just do it. Like man, grow a pair. They really think they are ballin' with that last one, but it's not that simple at all. First, Hasbro has the has-dough to hire the best legal team that currently exists. That's just reality. I, as a YouTuber with barely 1,000 subs, do not have that ability. If someone is appointed to my case pro bono, that's totally fine. But no matter how good they are, they will be at a disadvantage alone. Not saying they will suck, who knows, I may get a real fighter, but it's definitely a coin toss. And that is if this is the kind of case that one would be appointed to anyway, and I have no idea on how that works. If not, I could get one by promising a portion of whatever money I get to the person I want to represent me. It's not a bad idea, besides the fact that at this size I don't have a very big money lost argument. I don't know exactly how that works, but if it's based on how I can prove that their claims and strikes have affected me, I feel like I'm pretty screwed and will definitely be operating on a loss. Second, even if I squeezed out a win, all the legal fees would make it absolutely not worth it. Again, Hasbro has the money, so the longer they stretch the proceedings out, the more strain it would put on me, my resources, and my ability to combat them. If I go broke just for a W against Hasbro, a corporation I have some disdain building for, I'm still taking an L in the long term. It's a lose-lose situation at that point. Well, not really, since Hasbro will financially recover rather easily, and I definitely will not. Not as I understand it. Third, fair use is entirely up to the judge's interpretation, and honestly, I don't trust people. I would be afraid that a judge would be more likely to side with a multi-million-dollar corporation over a random YouTuber with barely any pull at all. What have I accomplished with my videos? What reason would they have to care about faceless YouTube content? A lot of people have bias against influencers in general, and bias isn't gonna be easy to prove if it's the judge that has it. Lastly, it's just a lot of stress, and I'd be putting my channel, my legacy at risk in the process. I've put thousands of hours into YouTube, believe it or not. It's a huge part of my everyday life, and risking all of that seems silly to me, especially at this stage. If I could afford to take the risk, I definitely would. The fact of the matter is I'd be climbing a smooth cliff like a paraplegic with no teeth. It's not gonna go well. So that's why my content isn't as consistent as we both may want. I want to cover things like Transformers, break down movies and episodes, heck just make normal reviews even, but the amount of copyright issues I have really drags it down. It's demotivating, truly. Having to make 100 versions of a single doggone video and it being nothing like I envisioned it by the end, it sucks. I keep my clips around 4 seconds, still get a claim. Add gameplay throughout, still get a claim. Add music, still get a claim. Add a border, still get a claim. It gets harder and harder to justify the time put in every single time. But I want to continue making this kind of content, so it's kind of on me. And even though it hurts me in the algorithm, I may go back to being a variety channel again, where I have video game reviews and related videos as well. Y'all didn't watch them much, but in terms of copyright, there were far less issues. Anime, cartoons, games, and movies are what I want to talk about here, as well as some commentary-like videos in relation to the nerd content that I enjoy. I want to get to a point where I have a backlog again, videos that I can post whenever copyright goes wrong, so I can stress a little less about grinding a video for Sunday. My episode breakdowns take a long time to script, record, make a video for, and release. They are big projects that I need some breathing room to complete, so hopefully I can find a good balance for the future. Really sorry that things have been so slow recently. That content has been lacking so much, and I'm hoping to change that in the future. Till then, I'm still making content on my second channel that is far more controversial, so check that out if you're interested. And I know I ragged on Hasbro a lot this video, but they're not the only ones that continue to claim my videos over and over again. They're just the ones that suck the most. Usually when I get a claim, I can combat it and then it'll all be over and we can move on. Other times I get a claim and I'm like, it's not really worth it, so I'll leave it around. But with Hasbro, if I get a claim, they usually just completely take the dad blame video down, and then whenever I try to appeal it, they make sure to get some licks in and take a strike. And I hate it. It's really awful, so if it seems like I was going after Hasbro because I have some kind of beef with them, it's because I do. They suck. I do not recommend making any videos on Hasbro shows or media like that. They are not very welcoming to it. And if you reach out to their support email, I hate to say it, but you're not gonna get anything back. That's just a sad reality of the situation. So a little PSA here: if you want to make Transformers content, you gotta be really careful when you do it. It is a lot of stress, it's a lot of trouble, and it's a lot of work. So if you want me to make Transformers Cyberverse videos or something, I have ideas for that. Even though it didn't start well for Cyberverse, it's not going to be easy to do given how it starts. I am aware, it's just going to take a lot longer to get a Transformers video out because Hasbro are absolutely awful when it comes to their audience and their fan base. They truly do not care whatsoever. They do whatever they gotta do to get more clicks, to get more money, to make more people want to talk about their shows and stuff, but then they get mad if you go out of your way and actually talk about it. Especially since I decided to criticize Nightshade and caused a lot of problems in the process. Oh well, it is what it is, but I figured I'd update you on that because there was a lot of Transformers videos I had in the works, and it got to a point where I literally couldn't upload them because if I did, I was risking a copyright claim and in turn a copyright strike, and I didn't want to lose my channel. They have struck me to the point where I needed one more strike and I'm gone. They've struck me to the point where my channel was scheduled for termination, and it was really hard to backpedal that, and I just didn't want to put myself in that position again. I'm still making Transformers content, don't get it wrong, it's just not going to be a very common occurrence on the channel just because of how risky it is. If I get to a place where I can find a show that I can talk about that doesn't have that risk attached to it, then there'll be far more Transformers content on that show. But talking about Transformers Prime has been a mess, and it's the same whenever I wanted to talk about Transformers Earthspark as well. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I know a lot of y'all want Transformers content, and I'm not planning on quitting anytime soon, but figured I should update you on how all that's going. Yeah, no, that's all. I don't have anything else to say. For more news, reviews, and whatever we choose on all things nerd, subscribe, and above all else, have a great day. Thank you.